Whether it be acute challenges like common cold or ear infection, or chronic neurological conditions like anxiety, ADHD, sensory processing disorder, and even seizures, sleep is the single most important step to getting neurological healing back on track and happening. So parents, if you've tried everything to help your child heal naturally and know that every time they are tired or sleep deprived, their condition and health challenges get worse, this is a must-watch video for you. We'll break down the science behind good sleep as a whole, but really get into why it's so essential for any child looking to heal and overcome health challenges or conditions of any sort to really get extra sleep and rest during that initial healing and recovery stages. The most telling clinical correlation here is either infants and or teens post-adjustment early on in care and how they immediately go home and sleep. One of my earliest little dudes that I had the honor of caring for, his name was Kale. And I've shared Kale's story before, but it's worth going over again. When Kale came to me, he was just under 2 and had been on nearly a dozen doses of antibiotics for ear infections. We were their last stop before tubes, before surgery. And I remember the first week of care, you could hear Kale literally screaming from the moment he got out of their car, into our office, would get adjusted, and then back out, waiting room, parking lot, and back into the car. Because Kale's system, you see, was stuck in gas pedal, sympathetic fight or flight mode. So then his immune system was shot. He hadn't slept soundly in months. Emotionally, he was also a wreck, and so were mom and dad, as you can imagine. But by the end of that first week, Kale slept a record 16 hours after one of our Friday evening adjustments. Mom said he fell asleep in the car for the ride home, didn't wake up again until nearly lunch the next morning, and she jokingly said they thought he was dead because a couple times they'd have to go and keep checking him throughout the night. They'd never had a night with him at 2 where he'd slept through the night. But from that moment on, Kale was a brand new kid. He was playful, he was talkative, he was happy, and most importantly, he was healthy. They avoided tubes, and he's yet to see another ear infection since we met. And the relevance of this story for today's topic lies with the sleep. We can't stress enough how important sleep is for our health. And as soon as we were able to take our foot off of Kale's proverbial gas pedal in his body, he went full on brake pedal mode, which is resting, digesting, healing, and sleeping. Sleep disorders are not just an adult problem. They can affect up to 50% of children and pre-adults. The consequences are not just limited to tiredness. It can lead to disruptive family dynamics, to cognitive and behavioral issues, and even long-term and ongoing health concerns. Whether looking to optimize development for a child or newborn, or help get a child back on track with their health and development, getting good sleep is the first and foundational essential component by far. Nothing is more important than sleep. In children, sleep challenges and disorders can show up either as having difficulty sleeping, difficulty falling asleep, difficulty staying asleep, or both. In fact, several factors can contribute to sleep disorders in children, with the most common and overlooked being what's called subluxation and dysautonomia, which are two terms that mean there are simply neurological imbalances and dysfunctions present. Most often, like we talked about with Kale, an overactive sympathetic nervous system, gas pedal, and a suppressed brake pedal, parasympathetic response. But this combination can alter sleep patterns in a major way for that child. And one surprising finding many parents may not know about or realize is that when we dig deep into the case histories of kids struggling with sleep, we often find a birth intervention or traumatic birth element such as forceps, vacuum, induction, emergency C-section. Believe me, both of my kids went through, my daughter was a vacuum delivery, my son was a C-section, and this is why Dr. Sam and I do this work, because neither one of them slept through the night until they were about 2, until we figured out neurologically pediatric focused chiropractic. So if this nerve, the vagus nerve, which is located near the sleep centers in the brainstem, is not working well, sleep is dramatically and significantly impaired. You see, the vagus nerve impacts our parasympathetic brake pedal, resting, digesting, healing, which is why it is so often damaged during the birthing process, because if we pull way up at the brainstem, we are likely to cause damage on the vagus nerve, thus suppressing the brake pedal and taking them too far, gas pedal, fight or flight. While making sure that subluxation and vagus nerve dysfunction are not involved is the most important step to getting sleep back on track for your child and starting the healing process in the best way possible. It's also important to create an optimal environment for sleep as well, and keep track of things such as room brightness, noise levels, temperature, and their pre-bed activities. External factors like caffeine intake, irregular bedtimes, overstimulation before bedtime, like late evening Mario Kart tourneys. I've been guilty of that, but I always win. And respiratory problems can also cause sleep challenges or exacerbate sleep challenges. By the time most parents hear about how helpful neurologically focused chiropractic adjustments like the ones we provide here at Foundations are, they've perhaps already tried everything from magnesium supplements to lavender essential oils, blackout curtains, and you name it. So if you feel like you've tried it all and your child still struggles with sleep and you know it's vitally important to their overall health and development, then get connected with our office right away. You can check out the link in our bio for more information, or if you're simply ready to dive right in to get your child sleeping once again, just give us a call or a DM. We'd love to help. Thanks.